Hello everyone, this build will be slightly different from my previous Legionnaire build, as it will be focusing solely on being the best possible tank you can be, as opposed to being a good all-rounder. I'll start this guide out by stressing that you should keep yourself alive at all costs. If you have to let a teammate bleed out, then just let it happen. Your survival is paramount to the team's success, so don't play the hero when teammates start falling. The only time you should ever consider reviving a teammate is if you either have Walking Fortress available or there's a very manageable number of enemies left. This role is best left to your stealth rogues or support mages. Your role is a tank, plain and simple. You should not care about how much damage you're dealing, and you should not ever break the line to go chase after that stray archer. You should generally be in the middle of an all-out brawl with the melee units to prevent them from hacking your teammates to pieces. Your abilities here have been chosen to keep you and your teammates alive, not to deal out damage. So your survival as well as your team's survival is directly dependent on these abilities being available to you when you need them. Payback Strike is unlocked by default, and I found it to be one of the most useful abilities to have on Perilous. It allows you to knock down enemies at will, though the best feature of this ability is being able to immediately recover from all incapacitating status effects such as stuns and panics. Another little known feature about this ability is that when it's used in conjunction with To the Death, you actually strike the enemy multiple times, resulting in a 50% or sometimes even 75% guard, as opposed to the usual 25% per hit. Walking Fortress is the skill that this class is built around. You have a whole 8 seconds of invulnerability, whereby each attack will reduce the cooldown times of all abilities by 1 second per hit. You will also generate 10% of your guard per hit. If you have aggro of an entire group, then you should have no problems gaining full guard in this 8 seconds, as well as greatly minimizing your cooldowns. This upgraded ability should be the first thing you beeline for, and you'll be required to reach level 6 to do so. Next on your unlock list is Flow of Battle. As explained in my Warrior Equipment Guide, this passive ability is arguably the best passive ability in your whole tree, as it reduces all cooldowns by 1 second for each critical hit you score. When you combine this skill with Walking Fortress, I found that you can cut your cooldowns by up to 75%, assuming that the conditions are perfect, of course. In most cases though, you can expect at least a 50% cooldown reduction. Counterstrike is the next skill you should aim to get. Counterstrike is a must on Perilous because it taunts all nearby enemies, meaning you'll be the only person on the battlefield that is of any enemy's concern. You will also gain full guard, and all melee attacks will be countered for a 6-second duration. However, these are just bonuses. The massive area taunt is why you're getting this ability. The guard you get should absorb a few hits, enough time for you to close the gap between yourself and the main bulk of enemies. While you're on the way to getting Counterstrike, you will also pick up the passive ability Unyielding, which will act as a safety net should you slip up. Once you have this skill, which you can get up at level 13 at the earliest, you are generally going to be Perilous ready. Lastly, To the Death. This ability is largely useless until it's upgraded, which transforms it from a high risk, high reward skill to one which allows you to deal high sustained DPS and also boosts survivability. You gain 25% of guards per hit you deal, which allows you to tank even the heaviest hitters such as the Templar Commander head on. It also means that bosses will die a lot faster due to them taking progressively higher damage per tick. For reference, I've had instances where my standard auto attacks are hitting for 2000 damage each. To the Death will also taunt your enemy, meaning it will only be concerned with you, so your teammates need not worry from the targeted enemy. Some people may argue that To the Death is pointless, as you generally only use it on the end boss, but I find it useful throughout the match just for gaining guard to sponge hits, as opposed to my health taking it. I try and throw this out when confronted with large groups of enemies, and you can also use Payback Strike to reduce the otherwise long casting animation. This concludes my Legionnaire guide. As always, I'll put a full unlock order and a build link in the description, so you can check those links below. Thanks for watching, goodbye.